people come a little late, moving the back space for that. Yeah. So that's a much better. Thank you. So yes, I enjoyed my day yesterday so much, especially when the rain came. It was just like confetti from the gods. The rain got everyone excited. That's beautiful. So today is the 7th month of the year, right? Or let's say July 2nd. So we'll just look at the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, knowledge of the absolute, and it's the 2nd day of July, so we'll take verse number 2. Let's return it already. Here we go. Jnanam deham savijnanam idam vaishataha yaj yatavyam avashishyate. Translation. I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. And those words are spoken by Lord Sri Krishna to his dear friend Arjuna. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktimarga Swami Prabhupada. We might just charade this out, okay? Which I like to do. Okay, complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, and the source of both of them. This is transcendental knowledge. The Lord wants to explain the above-mentioned system of knowledge because Arjuna is Krishna's confidential devotee and friend. In the beginning of the 4th chapter, this explanation was given by the Lord, and it is again confirmed here. Complete knowledge can be achieved only by the devotee of the Lord in disciplic succession, directly from the Lord. Therefore, one should be intelligent enough to know the source of all knowledge, who is the cause of all causes, and the only object for meditation in all types of yoga practice. Thank you. When the cause of all causes becomes known, then everything knowable becomes known, and nothing remains unknown. The Vedas, Mundaka Upanishad 1:3, say, Kasmin nu Bhagavo Vigyate Sarvam Idam Vigyatam Bhavati. Thank you very much. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Buddhare Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tanamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vicharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Astaja Desha Tarini Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming today through the door. There's many different ways to come in, but that's one way. Okay. Chapter 7 is very interesting. And like all the other existing 17 chapters that we find in Bhagavad Gita, and here we find knowledge of the absolute. That which you didn't know will now be covered. Okay, but it's very interesting. One thing that I find so impactful of what Prabhupada once said when a reporter asked him, "Why have you come here?" And his answer was, "I have come here to tell you what you have forgotten." So that sounds totally mystical. What have I forgotten? You might ask, right? So knowledge of the absolute is the answer, really. And knowledge about the nature of this world, its source, what impact it has on us, what it's going to have, what will happen with this world in due course of time, what's going to happen to me. All that is really important in a person's mind who reaches the human form of life is going to be answered here. And so that's what's kind of unique about this particular text, Bhagavad Gita. I was, yes, it was yesterday. 2 days ago. I met a guy in Huntsville. He looked like an old hippie. And he had a bit white beard, and hair and everything like that. And he was playing next door from the Econo Lodge where I was staying. And he was singing a song from his veranda. And he had a guitar, and he had a harmonica, which he was about, oh, there's the door again, the harmonica which he was about to play. And he was really enthralled by the Rath Yatra that the devotees had conducted 1 or 2 weeks before. He got to know that his neighbors are into Krishna. So he asked, who is Krishna? He asked me, kind of like across the way. Like he's up on the sort of his patio, and then I'm down at the ground level in the parking lot. Who's Krishna? Who is he? And I said, well, he's the person that can give the ultimate pep talk. That's the way I just it. The ultimate pep talk. There's the door again. Maybe we could put a wedge in there. That'll be kind of nice. That maybe a human being can sit there and wedge it open or something so it doesn't bang. He said, well, I found my Lord. He said, well, that's great. You're a Jesus person, right? I said, yes, I am. But I'm interested in Krishna. And, from that unveils a greater truth. And that truth is, well, Krishna and Jesus have something in common. One is the Son, the other one's the Father. In the Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna says, Aham bija pradapita, I'm the seed-giving Father of all living entities, all species of life. So that happened to me also when I was walking in the Fiji Islands. And I start walking early in the morning, usually before the sun comes up. And then I noticed on the side of the road where there's a sugarcane field, which is you find them everywhere. Just like Mauritius saying that sugarcane fields are everywhere. So he was just kind of standing there a little bit, not knowing what to do, a worker. He was in coveralls and everything like that. And I just stopped by and I said, well, how are you? They said, I'm not doing too good today. I said, what is the problem? And he said, well, they fired me today. And I don't know what I'm going to do because I have a family to look after. And I said, well, I can't offer you a job, but I can offer you a position as a walking partner. I can't pay you. And he said, no, I won't be able to come. And then I asked him, well, why is that? You have some free time now. He said, well, because I'm a Christian. I said, well, okay, you're a Christian, but I'm a Krishnan. I follow Krishna. And Krishna is declared as being the father of the world, the source of all. And Jesus, his claim is that he's a beloved son of the Father. Sometimes we say only begotten son, which I have some doubt about how it got translated like that. If a man is competent and potent, that means he can have more than one child, right? So why is it only one child? It seems like God is not a very powerful, And so anyways, he accepted my argument. And so we walked as a Krishnan and a Christian, right? And that happened to me at the airport too. I had a few people come to me, and because I spent a good enough amount of time there, said, "Oh, are you a monk?" First of all, I was asked at the wicket counter, "Are you what do you call you guys?" Says, "Well, I'm a monk." Yeah, that's what I mean to say, monk. You do taekwondo, So, well, not quite. I teach a bhakti yoga system. It's a gentler approach to life. And then shortly after, an American gentleman with this, I said, "Are you? What are you? You're a monk, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, I'm a Krishna monk." And he said, "Christian? I'm a Christian." He said, "Yeah, I'm just Krishna." So his wife corrected him. He's a Hare Krishna. "Oh, you're Hare Krishna." Okay, great. And then finally, when I got to the gate, and that was a long wait at the gate, I met somebody who said, "Oh, you must be the walking monk." I said, "Well, I guess I am. How do I know you?" He said, "Well, we had the Festival of India program at Sudbury, and I'm the bishop for that northern region, and we were there." Yes, I remember you. We talked, we got acquainted. That was a good program, by the way. Just as COVID was starting to die down, it was the first major official event that people could go to, was the Festival of India, arranged by our dear devotee Prem Kishore from Thunder Bay. And then we went the next day to the Sault Marie for another Festival of India. And that included some chanting, some classical dances, and so I read some poetry and things like that. It was very well attended, and we filled up the banquet halls in both places. Most of it was just local people, and I met mayors, and I met the chief of police, and all kinds of people, because they put me at table one. Yeah, so it was nice. So it's so good to share information. And people are well informed these days about many subject matters, but hardly anybody's enlightened. So there's a difference there. Education is there, but there's very little enlightenment that's going on. And if people are enlightened, well, do you put it into practice? Because usually that's what it means. You assimilate the wisdom and then you act it out, right? So that's kind of a little hard to find. Srila Prabhupada defines jnanam as absolute knowledge, and vijnanam means the application of that knowledge, putting it into the real world, letting it materialize, not letting it become materialistic, but let it be materialized. So talking with the bishop again, we're both sharing information about what's going on and how we feel about how things are happening in this world. And of course, I told him, I said, I feel there's a lot of disparity. There's a lot of confused people. And let's say the participation in spiritual practice has gone down. And various forms of liberalism have really, kind of taken off, and to interesting degrees. Then we talked about millennials. We talked about anybody born after the year 2000 and the nature of such people. And I won't tell you what he had to say, but I think most of us have a good idea what kind of breed we're looking at, right? The point is that it doesn't matter so much what is your background, where you come from. It doesn't matter about gender or anything like that. Krishna explains, Manghi Partya Pasritya. What is it? Stereo Vaishistata Shudras, Yanti Parangatim. Everyone can reach the supreme destination, the absolute. It's just a matter of capturing some of the wisdom and putting it into practice, putting it into the world of reality, acting it out. And when you act it out, then you start to feel it. Over the years, I've had the great opportunity to do a lot of classes for comparative religion studies, especially with secondary school level kids, and that's always been a lot of fun. And they're learning about different faith groups, And basically, we'd have a lot of fun. I'll ask, what is your idea of God? And I just tell me your definition of what is God. Yeah, they'll come up with all kinds of interesting things, such as God is great. Okay. Can you give me a little more information? God is the creator. Oh, wow. We're moving, getting warmer. And, many other things like along those lines. The source, so many different things. The one who blesses. They're all good, perfect answers. They are, even when someone says one is great. And we talk about many things, like contained from the Bhagavad Gita. I especially have fun with them. We talk about the three energies, the three gunas, and we ask them, there's three gunas comprised of Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamagun. Sattvagun means mode of thoughtfulness. Rajagun means the mode of restlessness. And then the mode of Tamagun is the mode of just ignorance, being very dark. And so we would make our list of, categories of where you think people fit in one of these three energies. And like we'll go through the category of music and dress code and food and almost weather conditions. It was really surprising, and this is where I want to go with this. There's an innateness in us, wisdom that's kind of concealed, but needs to be revealed. And so when we go through the category of music, okay, let's take a real nice piece of music from, let's say, Beethoven, not the War of 1812 or whatever it is. It's just something a little soft. So they'll put up their hands. Goodness? Said, okay, yeah, right. What about heavy metal? Ignorance. They would just say, I didn't say it, you guys did. What about the weather conditions? Okay. What about it's a hot, sweltering day? Sun is beating down on you. And they know the answer is Tamagun, mode of ignorance. It makes you slothful, like you're going to melt into the ground, right? And what about an extreme storm? Well, passion, mixed with ignorance, especially when the trees come down and there's a power outage, you can say there's a lot of destruction. Because Tamagun usually refers mode of ignorance to when there's destructive elements, And then we talk about dress codes, how people dress. Some people are dressed to kill, and so what does that mean? Rajagun, mode of passion. So they had it down very well. So what I'm saying here is that what we find, the contents of the Gita, has so much to do with truth, which is kind of tucked away. Just like love for the absolute is also tucked away. It's like covered over, buried somewhat with layers of, let's say, selfishness. And it just needs to be uncovered. You just have to pull it out, that's all. Just like, have you ever been on the beach and just put your head to the sand and you hear, the movement of sand going. So, if you're like sharp, like one of those like fox or, one of they put their ears to the ground and they say, and then you start down pull and there's some kind of like crab or, crawling around. That I used to explore the beach and Jagannath Puri. Anybody ever heard about Jagannath Puri? Yeah, it's a wonderful place. And that's what you find. You just put your head to the floor, to the sand, to the beach, and then something magical will happen. So everything is there that we need to know. It just needs to be uncovered. And that's all there is to it. And that's what Krishna is trying to do with Arjuna. And hence, transfer the same kind of methodology towards other spirit souls. When we are in the human form of life, it's considered that you have a special in with wisdom. You have a better opportunity to go deeper inside of the subject of life, which is something not known by all species of life. Most creatures are thinking about, I gotta live, I gotta find some food, gotta feed my young, I have to find a mate in order to have a young. All these things, eating, sleeping, mating, defense, fighting, an opportunity to, build your power by, getting defensive with another creature. But when it comes to try to penetrate into the subject matter of the self, that does not become a reality for many forms of life. And this is a common theme presented by our dear Srila Prabhupada said, you're a human being, just try to probe, try to penetrate, go deeper. Prabhupada's guru Bhaktisiddhanta used to say, go look within. That means go within. That doesn't mean that if surgery is done, you can look inside and says, oh my God, close it up right away. It looks so horrible. But the within that we're talking about is just something much of a deeper subject matter. It's something that's subtle, cannot be seen, but can surely be felt. And that's why it's important to become a seeker of the truth, to take advantage of the human form of life and for what it's meant for. And, kind of go beyond, because the real education lies in understanding the self. Now, a modern day problem is that a lot of people basically have an issue with trying to understand the self, or loss of identity, and identity crisis, for instance, not well understood by a lot of people, But to do that, you have to go beyond gender, beyond, species, race, color, creed. You have to go much deeper, and that's what's called for in the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna, the recipient of this wisdom, had already known all these things, but momentarily he lost it. Let's give a nice example. Lord Krishna comes to this world to offer protection to his devotees. So in his playfulness with the gopas, they saw this amazing creature, a cave. And they thought the cave had some like hot air shooting out of it. It also had a sort of a fishy smell coming from it. And they just said, let's go in. Because for the boys, it was all about adventure. Let's explore the world, And for them, it meant to be outside, not inside, working on a gadget, but it was meant to, let's really see the world. It was more about trees and animals and monkeys and frogs and turtles, all those kind of things, and all kinds of plant life. And also the odd creature like Aghasura. So Krishna has his friends, the gopas. They just said, let's go inside. And if you were to go inside, you'd probably get an echo. Let's go inside. See what's inside. It's really interesting. See if we can find a monster. And of course, the cave was a monster. Okay. And Krishna's friends went in there, and he was kind of like the last person to say, oh my God. Say, oh my God, and of course he is God. But, oh my God. And what is going to happen with these boys? What's going to happen to that boy there? And he might clamp down once they're inside. So he was a little bewildered. He kind of forgot about his own powers, his own potencies. We call this yoga maya. Maya means illusion. Yoga means when it has a spiritual component to it. So he was thinking that I might lose these boys, I might lose my friends. What would happen to them, and what would happen to their parents? They would be devastated if their lives were lost. But eventually Krishna sort of broke away from that, and he said, I'll go in there. I'll take care of things, take care of matters. He always does. And so he did eliminate, or let's put it this way, let's not give it a negative connotation. Let's speak about it in a positive way. He vanquished the big demon Aghasura and awarded him moksha. Moksha is liberation. It's the best gift you could be offered. It's a reward, actually, if anything. And so that's what he did. And just to give another example, Yashoda, Krishna's mom, she was thinking that a little boy. He's just my little boy. So she's an illusion because it's not just a little anybody. It's a little everything. And the coward boys were complaining to Krishna's eating dirt. So there was a complaint by his brother Balaram to Mother Yashoda. Krishna's doing his shenanigans again. He's engaged in his antics. And so now he's eating clay. He's eating dirt. And then Mother Yashoda came to see, what are you doing? I hear that you've been eating dirt. No, I've not been eating any dirt. So she was under a kind of an illusion, another form of yoga maya, forgetting that her boy was not her boy. Her boy was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he said, Balaram's just complaining because I wanted to quit playing and didn't want me to leave the playground. So that's why he's making the story. But Mom, if you want to just check things out and see if I've just eaten dirt or not, you can do that. He says, all right, let me look into your mouth. And when she looked into his mouth, she saw not only like dirt, but she saw the planet of dirt, Earth. And she saw so many other things, so many other aspects of the world, and features of Viratru, which is the cosmic form. And she says, oh my God, another one, oh my God, mon Dieu. And she's saying that, it's not the door, it's something else. Okay, and so she was then momentarily knocked out of this illusion. So this is just not an ordinary soul. Here's somebody who's very extraordinary. And so that helped her. And so momentarily, even great souls who are enlightened can fall a little bit into the trap, Like we know Mother Teresa, everybody knows about her, right? She was a very kindly woman in the nunnery, and she spent many years, lifelong years in Kolkata helping poor people, right? And then the whole world got shattered when they looked at some of her notes. I don't believe there's a God. She had doubts. Like that. People said, what? Mother Teresa's talking like this? Oh my God. So this it can happen to anybody, where you can be pushed out of reality and, let's say, fall into some kind of pit hole of illusion. It can happen. Hopefully we all get out of it. And Arjuna was temporarily in that condition as well. He knew all that needs to be known. Krishna is the supreme force, and I'm his little servant, like that. And usually we say that when devotees introduce themselves, they say, I'm a servant. Say, like if your name is Janardhan. Okay, Janardhan, my name is Janardhan Das. That means I'm the servant of he who maintains everything. Servant of God. Das, D-A-S. And if you can come to that terms of accepting that you're a Das, then you are that, and eliminate the D. Okay. Something less fortunate. Yeah. So chapter 7 is important to us because it helps us to take another dive into another aspect of Krishna that we didn't necessarily know before. What I like about this chapter here too is that we start to see how God can be understood and how God can be appreciated through the elements. Okay, we do hear about that there are the 8 separated energies coming from God. They are clearly issues from God, emanations from Him. But then here's something even more interesting. about the nature of God. And that is, I'm going to get to this one. Yeah, lots of good shlokas here. I'm just telling you, if you want to learn a chapter, this is it. Talks about the different kinds of people that surrender to Krishna. But one area that what I want to bring to your attention is, how can Krishna be known? How can he be appreciated? So, it is said, Rasoham Upsakuntiya Prabhashmi Patsashashurya Pranava Sarvavedeshu Shabdiki Purusham Nrishu. So what that means is that I am the taste of water, I'm the light of the sun and moon, I am the sound Om, and I'm the ability in everyone. So that's pretty important, isn't it? Rasoham Upsakuntiya, understanding that God is the taste of water. Two people were kind to offer me water, and they're in the slightly, they're same kind of cups. There's a little fold in the middle. I'll just try this one. I'll try this one. Yeah, they're both the same. And they quench the thirst. They give a lot of satisfaction. Water is the basis of drink, isn't it? The foundation. So this is where we understand that Krishna lies in our world. He is the foundation of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate. That's in chapter 10 from Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, I am the source of all that is matter. I'm the source of all that is spirit. There are those two basic, issues that we experience in this world. There's Brahman and there's Prakriti, and we should appreciate both. We would not get by without these tools: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. There's not much you can do even devotionally without them. So that's where when you enter into the Brahman, or you prescribe to that form of spirituality, you may not necessarily have a form whereby you can serve. You don't have a physicality about you. So therefore, we always say that better than just entering into Brahman, or God's effulgence, is to be here in this world with our physical selves, where you have arms and legs, and you have eyes, and you have ears, all the instruments that allow it to be possible for you to engage in bhakti and service. Bhakti is the topmost thing. If anybody wants to know, what is that pep talk? What part of the pep talk was Krishna delivering to make it so meaningful to, whether it was Kim, the guy that I met 2 days ago on his guitar, or any of us? The most important thing about Krishna consciousness is the action of bhakti, the service mood, seva. Everybody likes service. Even if you're with an airlines and they kind of disappoint you, we're delayed. This is okay. We're delayed once again. We're very sorry. It's mechanical. It's mechanical. The weather, short staff. Some that's usually. And always hurts. At least people need to be informed why that there's don't be silent. There's nothing worse than silence. People want an answer. I want an answer. I want to know what's the truth. Why am I here? What is my purpose? And if the answer comes to you either from within or from without, from hearing from people, or from persons who have had this experience of bhakti, then you're really in a good situation. You're on the right track. You are a human. Human being doesn't mean, like Prabhupada used to say, polished cats and dog civilization. You got fantastic cutlery, and you've got that. What is that thing? What is that? Let's stick it in here.
Bow tie.
No, not bow tie. No, it's serviette. Cloth one, not paper, even paper. And then you've got this fancy, cutlery, and you got this perfect, like a shining from, from across the street, this cutlery, and you've got you're your fork, your spoon, your knife. Well, there's 2 spoons, 3 spoons. One is for each dish,
The rules like once you have to start from out and then go in.
You go in, yes, I don't even know the technique. But anyways, but then when it comes to what's being served, you have to question, am I really a polished human being? I got my chair, I'm sitting really straight and tall, and I'm in and around with all the important people, all the dignitaries of the town, Yeah, so what does it mean to be human? It means to probe into the absolute. Oh, another. Ooh, yeah. I have those noisemakers. Everybody wants to do kirtan. I think that's what. Yeah, so we would just encourage you all to dive into the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, which offers so much information about the self. And it's not about what color hair, how high is your IQ. It's none of those things. It's simply you. When everything else is pulled off, like a banana. Do you ever eat a banana with a peel? No. You have to take some layers off to get to the essence, the actual banana. Of course, there was one great Vaishnava. He was so taken by Krishna. He put the peel off of the banana, and he offered the peel to Krishna instead of the banana. He was so taken by, out of, let's say, being bewildered, so ecstatic that he forgot what to do and who it should be offered to. Yeah, so this is chapter 7 from Bhagavad Gita, and we hope that you'll explore it and look at everything else that's around, everything before and everything after and everything in between. And one of our plays that we do, which we're going to take around to some of the temples, it's called Big Fish, Little Fish. And Little Fish, he ventures out of the water because he wants to be the big fish. And the big fish says, well, if you want to think that you're the big fish, all you have to do is, swim up, and a wave will come and take you to the shore. And then at the shore is Maya. Maya means illusion, personified, very nice looking lady. And the little fish says, oh, I just really want to be the big fish. Well, I said, oh, don't worry, I'll help you with that. No problem. First of all, you have to get rid of those scales. You need the best clothes, Armani, I think, and Gucci, whatever else is out there, and just have the best. And if you really want to, get on in the world, you need knowledge, you need wisdom. So we'll bring in Professor Crammett. Professor Crammett, he offers a course in cram it all in, cram it all in, learn forwards, backwards, inside and out, forward, backwards, inside and out, day and night, fishy, day and night. Okay, so there's sort of the lines from one of our favorite stories, But the wisdom that is crammed into us so often, is information about what's going on in the world. But we don't come out with solutions to problems. Most of the things people want to hear, I want to hear about problems. Don't give me any good stuff. Don't give me anything that it's too bland. I want to hear about sensationalism. That's what it's got to be. And that's where the public is mostly at. And if a solution can be found, great. But a lot of people just love to jump from one sensation to the next and to the next. And it's kind of entertaining. Because after all, life can be a little bit monotonous, can't it be? You have the same place to work every day, and you're dealing with the same house, same people, same bus, same car, same everything, same weather, and we just want something new, something fresh. And what's nice about Krishna consciousness is that Krishna always brings something fresh and new. It's like taking a mint leaf from the garden. Listen, if you do it every day, it doesn't matter how many times you take. It's like that. So Krishna is ever fresh. He's like that Navayovanam. That means he's like an ever fresh youth. And when people are energetic and young. By the way, I just want to congratulate all the people that came out yesterday. And there was a lot of youthful energy. I think people felt it. They really did. And after the rains came, we were still there, right? Everyone else had cleared out, and we just stayed on. And I think people must be looking at us as, look at all those young people over there. Either they're just having a real good time, or they got to be crazy. So we love kirtan, we love music, we like dancing. You know, I mean, if you don't do it here, you're going to do it in the wrong places, right?
Yeah.
And so just got to find the right places. That's the solution. Find those locations that are going to make a difference in your life. Yes. So thank you very much. I guess, is it good enough time?
Questions, Maharaj?
Yeah, I was going to say, if anybody has any questions or anything at all at this point in time, that would really be fantastic. Okay. Yes.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for the wonderful lecture. So,
I just a talk. It's not a lecture.
that's all. So the thing is,
Oh!
that's good. Like I can speak louder. So the thing is, like we ever heard from the people that like there are the many people in this earth. They know like what their like previous life birth, what they were, what kind of the species they know they were in the previous life. And the human life, we did good like deeds and do the devotional service. We good. Like, we are just out of the 8.4 million species life cycle. So like, what after this? Like, the question is, many people like we heard the many story. People know their previous birth,
Right.
but like any story, something like people know that like after this, like being a this devotional services and just being a devotee. After that, what kind of the life that like we heard that like we get the moksha and everything. Like the liberation and everything, but what is the next stage for this? Like,
what kind of existence will you be in? What kind of form you will have? But we're not privy to that necessarily. It can be a distraction. We don't have to wonder about that. Our real concern is how Krishna can be pleased. So be more concerned with the here and the now, how you pay attention to your bhakti. That's most important. Don't worry much about the past. Don't worry too much about the future. And I think it's a very small percentage of people that know about their past lives. I think it's a very small amount. So it's not meant to be a major concern. The only time that you can think a little bit like that, what will be my future, is when you're a little kid. Will I be a firefighter? Will I be a rock and roll star? Will I be on the stage? Or, and even then, you have to wait your time out and find out where you actually fit in, where your strengths are. And you get coaching from parents, from guru, from friends, people who know you, aunts and uncles, who have a better idea than you have a lot of times, You have to figure a lot of these things out for yourself. But I would say, look at your future in this life. Be less concerned about the future after this life. That is in the hands of God.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we have to look at what's really important. It's going to make a difference. And I don't think we have to put in any special request. Krishna, I was thinking I could be a gopi with you or something. Krishna could be a peacock in Vrindavan. I don't think it's important at all. Expressed in the words of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let me simply continue to do seva for you, life after life. Even if I get a few kicks, or if I get a few hugs, it doesn't matter. I just am happy to continue to be of service to you. Life lies in serving. Life lies in giving, not so much in taking. That brings us back to the millennial generation, perhaps, and it really is a matter of tasting in the giving. The ruchi, the taste, the joy comes in the giving. That's when people are the happiest. So think what you do now. Trust no future, however pleasant, Prabhupada used to say. Okay, thank you. That's good. Thank you for being a great dancer yesterday. Any other questions? Yes.
Hi, Krishna Maharaj. I really liked at the beginning of your talk when you were saying that a lot of people have knowledge or they've gotten a lot, but not very many people are enlightened.
Mm-hmm.
And I was appreciating how Srila Prabhupada just keeps, bringing it back and making it very simple of this, service and our intention when we're serving. But I understand also that we have to understand some technicalities of how the world works, maybe to share with others or to enhance our faith. And you were mentioning Prakriti. And I think maybe I'm having a hard time with the Sanskrit words. And I was just wondering if you could elaborate on what Prakriti is and how we can connect, or what is the connection of our relationship with understanding Krishna and Prakriti.
Mm-hmm. Well, Prakriti is just matter. Everything pretty much what we're looking at is made of matter. And so what matters is matter, and how you channel that matter in the service of Krishna. And that's what's important. So it's just all forms of life that exists in this world is composed of matter. And with technology, since you brought it up, we need to know the ways of the world. It's important to run matter and spirit parallel. Learn about the ways of this world. I mean, Prabhupada taught us many things, like how to make our own toothpaste. He even showed us how we can clean our teeth with like eucalyptus sticks or something. He taught us so many things about the practical world. So you dovetail practicality in the service of Krishna, and you've got a good formula. So the Shisha Upanishad also speaks about learn matter, learn spirit, compare notes, and move along with both of them. If you don't do that, you're going to have a scenario like, okay, I'm all into Krishna consciousness. I'm all into, let's say, the spiritual side of life. I'm all into honoring Janmashtami, where I won't eat or drink a drop of water even, right? And, some people observe if you don't do that, you might have a blackout. So you might as well know a little bit about your own nature, and that a full fast may not work for everybody. Most people, it's fine, But don't be ignorant of the ways of this mundane world, and also don't be ignorant of the spiritual world. Let's become expert in both subject matters. And that's what Prabhupada wanted of us. He wanted us to be expert, just good as all arounders, knowing many practical things. And, he was very much for people being skilled. And, the majority of many of the people that we know now, they're quite skilled with. Oh, the skill is like this now.
Swipe.
Oh, I gotta go back. That's about all that is needing to be done. But when it calls for, could you,
get a hammer and a nail, and you could drive a nail into the wood with a hammer. They'll go, what? Okay, which one is the nail and which one is the hammer? And so practical things are not understood. You want me to cook something? I don't know how to cook. Let's go to Starbucks. So it's just good to be able to marry the two. Like Arjuna was trained as an archer, right? He learned archery, the skill of archery, and that was practical, and it was necessary. So let us get familiar with both worlds, but direct them to Krishna. That's all. The target is Krishna, his lotus feet, taking a humble position. So whatever material goods are there, use them in his service. And be practical about it, and at the same time put your heart into the service. Because we can be spiritual, but become quite mechanical about it sometimes as well. Have you ever experienced that before? And you wonder, well, is God there? Can we hear God there? Yeah, sorry about that. Does that help?
Yes, again, it's very perfect matter, and we're understanding that Krishna is the controller of everything, therefore we're keep trying to direct it back to him.
Yeah, one of the 5 truths of Bhagavad Gita is Prakriti. And the other truth is Ishvara. We must offer our Prakriti in the service of Krishna. We who are the Jiva. And we have to do it with a certain amount of time, that's Kala. And we have to turn things around. That's called karma. Switch your bad habits to good habits. That's karma. Like if you're going down the road and it says wrong way. Oh, okay, all right. Well, get out of there, right? As fast as you can, go into the right lane. Good. Anything else? Si, senor.
Hey, Krishna Maharaj, it's up to you to answer it if you want, but I was wondering what inspired you in the spiritual life?
What inspires me? I've seen others doing the same thing. Like yesterday, near the Parliament Hill, we were chanting, we were happy, right? Some people say, I think I want to do that too. And people stand there and say, I want to look at these happy people, and then someone gives them a little nudge, hey, come on, just join in. Oh, no. Yeah. And you get pulled in before you know it. You've been associating with people who are happy, and then you become happy. I think it's a very simple formula. You get together with a bunch of business people, what is your aim? To do nice service, right? You service your customers, your clients, and do it well. But behind it all, we want to make a big profit. Right? So the aim is to make the profit for most people. Some people are thinking, I don't care so much, just want to make people happy with my services. And somebody else had a, yes, in the back. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the wonderful chat. This was good.
Thank you for not calling it a event.
I corrected myself.
Thank you.
My question is, you were saying that we all wonder about the purpose of life. I came to the French conscious not that long back, but I'm doing the service, and I am just doing more and more. Will I be ever satisfied or find the purpose, what Krishna has for me in the spiritual consciousness?
So what you're doing service, but you're trying to find yourself in the service. Okay, you'll find yourself. There's engagement in itself is satisfying. It keeps your mind out of the gutter. You know, many of the problems that people face today is the fact they're underengaged. I meet two kinds of people, overengaged and underengaged. Some people who do everything, and they don't even know what rest is, you know. And then there are those that are not engaged enough. They kind of, you know, oftentimes leech off society. And so keep yourself busy in Krishna service. You'll find your niche. All the strengths come out of an individual when you're busy. But the worst thing is to be underengaged, and the worst comes out of a human being. You turn into a devil. It's guaranteed. Your mind just takes over and just predicates. We don't want that. So do things in the service of Krishna, and much will be revealed. The answers will come. They don't always come when you want them to. I mean, it's not like it's a little bit like one of those canteens, you know. You put your coin in. Why is it not coming? and everything starts falling out. So you don't know what shape. Oh God, that's about the third time maybe. That's all. So does that help out? Just keep busy. Don't think too much. Don't overthink. That's the problem. Many people are, you know, not mindful enough. They just think too much.
I just don't feel satisfaction. The more I do, I want to do more.
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, you are. He is coming. Coming around the mountain when he comes. Coming around the mountain and he comes. And he'll be riding 4 horses when he comes. They're not white, they're different colors. Anything else? Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj, for this little talk. And
Thanks.
I love your sense of humor.
Oh, I don't know.
I would like some more precision on moksha.
Yes.
So moksha, did you say was liberation from the cycle
Yes.
coming back? But can someone have moksha and still be in this world having a body? So a liberated soul amongst us.
Yes.
Like Prabhupada.
Yes.
Would.
Yes, it is possible to be that. Yeah. Iha Hariyaradashya Karamana Manasagira Nakilasvapyavastasu Jiva Mukta Suchite. A liberated soul, or Jiva Mukta, is somebody who's in this world and seemingly carrying on like anybody else, but in their mind and their heart, there's all this high consciousness. And so it is possible. You know, just like we know that people carry on a life in one of the 3 gunas, the 3, you know, modes of nature. Some people carry on in ignorance. Some people just carry on. I was watching some people. I was waiting for my, I have a new dentist now, and at the plaza, just waiting and watching people coming in to going to the bakery next to the dental clinic, you know. I says, why are they so glum? They're going to get their baked goods. And most people are just, I kind of say, like, aren't you happy? You know? So it is really a matter of coming to terms with the truth. And the truth lies in service. Again, there's no other way to go. Does that kind of address your concern?
You made a link with Mahaprabhu Chaitanya.
Yeah.
So
What?
you said, could you repeat what you said
About Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So whatever. You can embrace me, or you can kick me around. You know, I'll agree to take some hits in life. I'll agree to take some kisses. You know, and I see them both as the same. It's all Krishna, you know, trying to make contact with me There are different kinds of moksha. There's Sarshti, Samipya, Sayuja, there's Sarupya, Salokya. 5 different kinds of liberation which frees one from the cycle. But some are superior to others. Like in Sayuja Mukti, one may not necessarily be engaged in service, but one simply exists, is simply existing free from that cycle, that vicious cycle. Yeah, so there's different kinds of moksha, but the real, what we aspire towards is not so much moksha and bhakti yoga. We're not, you can give it to me or you can not give it to me. Just give me some service.
So life after life.
Yeah,
Serving.
that's right. Life after life, that's
Doing it, Mataji. Doing it.
right. Anything else?
Thank you, Maharaj.
No problem. No problem. Okay, I guess we've, oh yes, go ahead. Vrindavan, right?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Haribol.
Maharaj, my question is, in the path of bhakti, you see a lot of ups and downs. Sometimes we get connected and we feel the separation from Krishna sometimes. And but sometimes we are in a phase that we try hard, but we are not start feeling the taste in the chanting. So the phase always goes in a swings. So
Yeah, that's
what practice we should do except from chanting every day, following correlative principles to keep having the taste in our chanting? Because sometimes when you get so much absorbed in work or some things.
Well, the devotee is not interested so much in the taste. The devotee is interested in serving. It's not my taste buds, it's Krishna's taste buds that we're trying to satisfy. So, what do you want? Spiritual life where there's sense gratification mixed in with it? I'm taking to bhakti because I feel good. Like James Brown, I feel good. Da, 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 da. Okay, it's not so much about that as what makes Krishna feel good, right? And when Krishna feels good, you, who are a part and parcel of the Lord, will feel good. That's the theory. But put it into practice, you'll see that it kind of works that way. It's not so much about me and what I'm going to get out of it. I get satisfaction from serving, and that's it.
Sometimes we feel or get some thoughts that we might have some offenses, and that's why
offenses,
we have obstructions on the path of bhakti. So
that's okay. Offenses give you a chance to jump over the fence. Offense. Offenses are there, and that's what makes life kind of fun. You see the ups and downs. Well, the other day when we drove here from Huntsville, it was such a scenic route. Highway 60, check it out. It's so beautiful. Just minute after minute of beauty, physical beauty. And it's ups and downs. And if you're to climb up one of those hills, it get a little exhausting. But coming down is even more difficult, But, it's fun when there's ups and downs. Why don't you look at it from the adventurous point of view and stop asking for flatness? Or I guess you want your graph to go like this, right? It's like a smooth ride. But you become strong and you develop a thick skin when endeavor is behind it. That's important. Is that okay? Yes. So enjoy the adventure of it all.
Yes.
Krishna says, I am adventure. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyways, good questions, mediocre answers. But we just want to thank you all for allowing us to be part of this. And the airport is not my favorite place to be. It's pretty bland. And Krishna got me out of there. To participate, I asked Krishna Sevi, so when does your program begin? Sunday program starts at 3. Oh, well, it's 3 o'clock now. said, oh yeah, you'll just be a little late. They'll be standing there. I said, okay, well, all right, just let me freshen up and I'll hop in. Haribol, so here we are. Hare Krishna. It's an adventure. Life's an adventure. And enjoy the adventure, okay? Because do not expect it all to run like this. It's gotta be the train has to be like this. The train is like this, but the terrain that you go on foot is like that, and it'll make it much more exciting. Okay. Anything else? I guess that's it then. Hare Krishna.
His Holiness Bhaktimarga Swami ki jai. So, speaking about reciprocation, Krishna is making some wonderful arrangements because we were just going to come for a Sunday feast program, and by Krishna's mercy, Bhaktimarga Swami was here today, and he's here to give us his association. And I don't think his answers are mediocre by no extent. They're super uplifting. I personally look forward to Maharaj answering questions because it's really lots of depth. And it's just it's a real pleasure being a part of this movement. And speaking of which, Maharaj actually has, if I could take the liberty, Maharaj, can I speak about this book?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Maharaj has a box of books that was heading its way to the United States to be distributed, but if we can get it out here, we have a full box here. It's called The Saffron Path, and it's chronicles of Maharaj's journey, his walks across Canada and other places, and the types of persons he's bumped into. He was giving us a little anecdote about bumping into a Christian and a Krishnan. So I think these books, will have them at the back, and we look for donations. What is the cost of this book, Mark?
Usually 30. We'll settle for 25, but if you give 30, then I'll help.
So $25, $30. Could we get some hands? Who's interested in a book? We'll have a few spots. Okay, we've got one over here. And we've got some hands in the back there. So we'll set up with a box of books, and we'll take some books, and we'd like to hear all about it. I think I'm going to get into also, and I'll read it myself.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it much.
So now we have Kirtan. Would you like to lead us in Kirtan, Maharaj? Or?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay, great. And then Prashadam will be served.
Sorry, thank you. We'll personally sign the books too.
Oh, Jai.
Okay, Vanchakalpadrubhyascha Kripa Sandhubhivata Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.